Hello everybody, it's Snitch Racer. Hello everybody, it's Snitch Racer here again, and today I'm going to be doing a tier list video on the levels in Twisted Metal 2. And so this tier list will be based mainly on two factors. The general aesthetics of the level, like the way it looks, if it's quote-unquote cool, like if it's memorable in a way. The other factor mainly will be how the level plays. Is it fun to play? Is it hard? Is it annoying at times? Those are all going to be factors in the rating of these videos. Or these tier lists, sorry. Before we get into the video, I just want to mention that at the end of the day, this is just my opinion, so if you have an opinion different from mine, I would genuinely love to hear it in the comments. I've actually had my mind completely changed by people in regards to Twisted Metal levels before, and I really enjoy it. I just want to quickly thank Vicarious Nick Gaming for making this tier list in the first place and making it publicly available. Thank you. And alright, we're going to get into the first levels here, starting out with the bonus levels. Now first, we're going to talk about the two bonus levels that they included in Twisted Metal 2 that you can unlock through codes that were in Twisted Metal 1. I'm not going to be rating those levels, I'm just going to get those out of the way now. They basically play the exact same in Twisted Metal 2 and Twisted Metal 1, so if you want to know my opinion on those two levels, just go check out the tier list that I made on Twisted Metal 1. And the last secret slash bonus level here is the Jet Moto level that they added to the game. It's basically just a callback to the fact that Single Track did make Jet Moto. As a level though, I personally think this absolutely sucks for this game. It's completely unplayable in regards to actually being fun as a Twisted Metal 2 level. Like it's kind of a neat novelty to be able to go there, but the way the map's designed, it's simply just not fun. There's ramps everywhere that make your car go flying. You're in a giant corridor, making it impossible to get away from anyone. Honestly, I can't even say too much about this level because anytime I've played it, I just simply didn't enjoy it at all. So, unfortunately, it's going straight down into the trash tier. Now, moving on to what is the first level of the regular tournament in Twisted Metal 2, we're going on to Los Angeles. This level is quite flat for the most part. Other than the racetrack that's going around the middle, which is sunken in, the entire level is pretty much flat. But honestly, that's okay for a first level because of the physics in this game. Getting used to going up ramps and stuff like that can be annoying at times, so I kind of like the fact that the first level is quite flat. Now, this first level is quite a bit different from the first level in Twisted Metal 1, in the fact that they actually give you 6 enemies to go at, so it is a very challenging level for a first level in a game like Twisted Metal, which I honestly appreciate sometimes, but at other times it can be very frustrating when you just want to do a playthrough and you're like thrown into the ringer right away. You can't even relax. One of the cool things about this level is the aesthetics. It has the feeling of a post-apocalyptic Los Angeles with buildings destroyed everywhere. You can even destroy the Hollywood sign. It just has a really cool aesthetic that has you immersed right away in the Twisted Metal 2 world. So that alone brings this level up quite a bit more than it would have been without those aesthetics. Now, one nice thing that they do on this level is give you a lot of health pickups, so if you do lose health, you can pretty much always bounce back if you just know where the healths are and the AI doesn't take it. So despite the fact there's so many enemies to start the very first level, you do have the crutch of that health, making the level kind of a fair challenge in my opinion. But it definitely could be a little more creative, so for now, I'm going to stick it right into the B tier. Now moving on to the dreaded Moscow, and I'm going to rustle some feathers of those Twisted Metal 2 elitists with this one, because I've heard that if you don't like this level, you suck at the game, but you know what? That's just not true. Because not only does the game essentially force you to collect weapons in the very first level, because there's next to no weapon pickups in Moscow, so you're kind of forced to, pick up the weapon in the first level, which is a little tedious and annoying, especially if you've done a bunch of playthroughs in a row. Not only that, it is the very second level, and it has 5 enemies in a giant death bowl, essentially. The level's a giant circle with a pit in the middle with nowhere to hide and nowhere to go. Not only that, but for me personally, the physics when you go up ramps in Twisted Metal 2 literally makes me want to throw my laptop straight out the window. So it's absolutely infuriating at times to drive around this level. For me personally, because of the fact that you're almost always driving up and down the ramps, you kind of have no choice. Not only that, I would actually argue this is the second hardest level in the entire game, which to me is an absolutely just a bad decision to throw it in as the second level, because for people who find this game challenging, they're going to get discouraged from that immediately, not want to play anymore, and I don't blame them for that. Now, the one and only positive thing I can really say about this level is the aesthetics are kind of cool. They could be cooler, but just the Russian buildings in the background kind of just make you really feel like you're encaged in some sort of communist building. I don't know, I kind of like it. But for me personally, the aesthetics, you could have the best aesthetics in the world and it wouldn't even carry this level out of the trash tier. Yes, this is going straight in the trash tier. Honestly, this might be my least favorite Twisted Metal map in the entire series, but for now, it's just gonna be a trash tier map. And now, moving on to Paris, probably the most iconic map in Twisted Metal 2, and maybe the most iconic map in the entire series. You're going to be going against 6 different enemies on the streets of Paris. This level can feel like a Pac-Man level at times with the enemies lurking around the corner, but the nice thing is, with the streets, you do have places to hide quite a bit on this level for the first time in the tournament. Not only that, but you can famously blow up the Eiffel Tower, opening up an entire another section on the rooftops. This level is just really cool in the fact that it's very dynamic, because to me, the feeling of being in the streets is completely different from being on the rooftops. You can just see so much up there. Another thing that this level has going for it is there's a crap load of weapon pickups. Not only is there just a lot sitting around, but if you destroy all the cars, all the buses, all the statues, even some secret rooms, you can get weapons literally everywhere, which in my opinion makes it quite a bit more fair than the second level there in Moscow. Now, despite the fact that there's so many weapons to collect, this level can be quite the challenge at times. If I've gone through the first 2 levels without losing a life, I'm terrified of losing a life on Paris, because it tends to happen a lot. Sometimes I find myself getting trapped in some corners, sometimes I'm just in the wrong place at the wrong time. I don't know what it is about this level, but it really kicks my ass sometimes. But in sort of a fun way, honestly, and not in a bad way. So that's why this level is going to be the very first level going straight up into the S tier. This level's a classic. It's super fun. I can't imagine rating it any lower than S. I hope you guys agree. And now we're on to Amazonia, a level where there is a bunch of lava from a volcano in the middle of the Amazon for some reason, despite the fact that doesn't even exist in real life. But hey, it made a cool aesthetic at the very least. Because honestly, as far as levels go, I think this one has the coolest aesthetic of them all. That hellish feeling because of who's coming out of the lava later, but we'll talk about that in a bit. First of all, this is another level that's quite flat in nature and open, sort of like LA, but it has a lot more going for it. Like I mentioned earlier, the entire place is filled with lava. Now, that lava won't kill you instantly, but what it does do is slowly damage you over time when you're driving in it, creating a risk versus reward situation when trying to use it as a shortcut or an escape, which adds an interesting dynamic to the level that makes it unique, something I love in these old school video games. This is another level where I don't really find myself having any trouble finding weapons. Not only are they everywhere, there's quite a few buildings that you can blow up the doors of with hidden rooms that have switches you can shoot for more health, more weapons, and everything like that. Not only that, there is a path that you can go into if you destroy one of the 2 statues in the map that goes under the lava. That's filled with a full heal and some more weapons. This level is full of weapons. The only negative thing I can really say about this level is those ramp type areas again. Sorta just piss me off sometimes. They are very annoying when you just want to stay on the ground and it feels like your car the gravity just disappears when you go up a ramp. So honestly, it's one of the only negative things I have to say about this level though. And like I mentioned earlier, someone's gonna be rising out of the lava. It's Minion's coming to get ya. And that's right, Amazonia has the very first boss battle of the entire game. This is a very scary but fair boss battle. I actually find them a little bit easier than the minion battle in Twisted Metal 1, but not that much easier. This boss battle is just an absolute blast to me. There's many different ways you can approach it. You can use remote bombs, napalms, do the running gun strategy. Depending on your character, you can just spam specials on them. It's just a level. Sorry, it's just a boss battle that never gets repetitive or boring to me. So in combination with that super fun boss battle and the general cool aesthetics, I am going to be placing this level in the A tier. I wanted to rate it in the S tier, but the design of the level just isn't creative enough for me to justify that. Next in the tournament would be the New York Rooftops level. Now, as a level design, driving around this map is by far the hardest to navigate around in the actual level itself. This level has 6 enemies gunning for you at all times, but not only that, you can just straight up fall off the level if you make the wrong turn, or the AI is actually really good at knocking you off the level at times, making me question my entire existence. Frustrations aside with the AI in this game, this level is honestly quite fun. It's very stressful because you can die at any second, given the fact that the physics kind of lend itself to you making mistakes in this game. And I don't know what it is about old school video games and being stressful, but I kind of enjoy it. Some people will probably think I'm crazy for that, but like, I enjoy the challenge, man. You get through that stress and get to the end and beat the level, and you feel like an absolute beast. And that's one of the reasons I kind of love this level. And another reason why I love this level is the aesthetics, and a common theme in the Twisted Metal 2 levels, honestly, but it's especially apparent in a level like this. There's just something cool about the atmospheres of this level. It feels very ominous and scary. It's got a dark, gritty atmosphere that just lends itself well to the game and to New York City itself. There is quite a few different rooftops that you can jump onto. There's quite a lot of different levels, like very low levels you can jump into, higher rooftops you can jump up to. There is a lot of verticality in this level, probably the level with the most verticality in the entire game. I find that every single rooftop has a different feel to it, sort of similar to Twisted Metal Black. Every room has a different feel to it. It's just a level you don't get bored of. It's quite a large level as well for a Twisted Metal 2 game. There's 2 cool little features of this level, that I want to mention here too. The fact that you can shoot the Statue of Liberty a certain amount of times and she takes her clothes off, essentially. Not only that, if you fall in the right spots on the map, you'll actually be given a cheat on the ground, so the game's actually rewarding you for your inevitable mistake of falling off the level. Because yes, you will fall off the level. Even the most experienced of players fall off the level all the time. I mean, the AI will just straight up Rico you off when you're not looking. It's inevitable. Now, my opinion on this level is going to automatically be biased because I absolutely love rooftop levels. They're honestly my favorite kind of level in a Twisted Metal game, so by no one's surprise, really, I'm putting the New York level in the S tier. And now moving on to Antarctica. Antarctica is essentially a second rooftop level in spirit. The game places you with now 7 enemies, the most so far, on an iceberg in the middle of the Antarctic Sea. Not only can you just straight up fall off on your own in this level, but there is multiple parts to the iceberg that just fall off periodically into the sea, and if you're on those or the AI is on them, you or the AI will die. Now combine that with the fact that this level isn't that big, it's kind of medium, and it's very open with not very many places to hide, you're gonna be constantly on your toes. Combine that with the fact that they're very generous with the weapons, this level is just constant action and just constantly fun. My only real complaint about this level is the Antarctica aesthetics with the constant white can be a strain on your eyes, but really it's not much to complain about. So with that all being said, this is not only my favorite level in Twisted Metal 2, it's one of my favorite levels I've ever played in any video game that's ever been created. I just simply can't help but admire the skill and creativity in making a level so unique in a PlayStation 1 game. That is why this level belongs at the very top of the S tier. Now on to the second last level, the most controversial level in the entire game, Holland. Now this level can be an absolutely insane challenge at times, given the fact that you're going against 9 enemies on a completely flat plane with basically nowhere to hide. It's also a very small level, so running away and trying to get away from enemies is simply not an option. You just gotta keep shooting and running. Now, on a level design standpoint, this level is quite uncreative and not, like, very interesting. It literally is, like I said, just a flat plane. The only thing it really has going for it are the 2 windmills on each side that you can use a teleport to get into. One of them contains a full heal and the other just contains weapons. The only thing is, those 2 little windmills do get blown up pretty much every single time I play, sometimes within the very first 30 seconds of the level. So in regards to level design, this level is pretty lame, but I actually find myself having a lot of fun playing the level. Because like I've mentioned before, I simply love a very hard challenge, and in this case, unlike Moscow, the hard challenge comes late in the playthrough, so it's not so frustrating. But when you start to get the hang of this level, man, it honestly can be quite the blast, because the satisfaction you get out of completing this level is completely unbeatable in any other level in the game. As far as aesthetics go, I'd say it isn't the worst, but it's definitely lacking. Like, every other level sort of had like a sort of a dark, hectic feeling to it. This level, ironically, completely has the opposite. The, like, fields and everything just make it feel like I'm out on a Sunday drive or something. So I don't know, man. This level just always stuck out like a sore thumb when in my playthroughs in the aesthetics department, which unfortunately will weigh the level down quite a bit. Honestly, I actually wanted to place this level in the B tier because of how much sheer fun I have playing it, but everything else about the level just simply isn't good in my opinion. Also, the grass is annoying sometimes when you lose your car in that crap. Christ. But anyways, unfortunately, this level's gonna be at the very tippy top of the C tier, just barely not making it into B. And now, moving on to the final level in the entire game, Hong Kong. Similar to Paris, this is another Pac-Man-like street level. This time with 8 enemies instead of 6. Also, I find the streets are a little bit more wider, which would make sense. It's in Asia and not Europe. And the level itself is actually quite big. I think it may be the biggest level in the entire game. Correct me if I'm wrong. But the level size can be very misleading in the fact that you're gonna think you're gonna have places to hide. Maybe this level's a little easy. I don't know. Nope. The AI is absolutely horrid in this level. They're super aggressive. They spam the crap out of you with freeze missiles. Man, even though I love this level, it can really piss me off, man. One of the greatest things about Hong Kong is there's quite a few different areas, something I've always enjoyed when done right. There is the subway area where you can go in and find a health. There's 2 trains that are driving on each side of the tracks, and they will actually hurt you if you hit them. On top of that, there's this cool Chinese temple in the middle that you can grab some health in. There's an environmental weapon in there. It's just cool. Sorry, had a bit of a moment there. Now, despite this level being so challenging because of the AI, this is another one where they're super generous with the health pickups and the weapon pickups, so that does help a lot. Before moving on to the boss battle, I just want to talk about the aesthetics of this level. The aesthetics are absolutely cool. I'm going to be super biased in this department because not only is my stepmom from Hong Kong, I've also been to Hong Kong. So, the aesthetics of Hong Kong is one of my favorite things in the entire planet. So my bias is strong here, because I personally find that Twisted Metal 2 did a great job of bringing those aesthetics of the real-life Hong Kong into a 90s video game as much as they could. On top of the cool aesthetics, this level has the best boss battle in the entire Twisted Metal game series, in my opinion. It pits you against the absolutely terrifying Darktooth, who is Sweet Tooth's father. The vehicle itself is massive for Twisted Metal 2. His attacks scare the living piss out of me, and just in general, he's super hard to beat. Because once you actually do beat the main part of the boss, you actually have to fight his head. Now, the head itself isn't really that much of a challenge, but after beating an entire boss, having to do something else is always a little intimidating. And I find it just pretty creative in general. So, with all that being said, the super cool legendary boss battle, the fact that it takes place in Hong Kong, a city that I absolutely have a loving passion for, the general aesthetics just being nice on this level, and just the fact that there's different aspects to the level design itself. All of that adds up to me placing that in the S tier at the very bottom of it. And yes, that's another level in the S tier, but you know what? I regret nothing. I just simply think the level and design in Twisted Metal 2 increased so much from the previous game. I just couldn't justify putting any of those levels below an S tier. And that's gonna be it for today's tier list. I just want to say overall, when going through this, I've really noticed how well designed some of the levels can be in Twisted Metal 2, especially since the level design quality drops off an entire cliff from 2 to 3. I've learned to appreciate the level of design in this game quite a bit more. Now, the great thing is, when we get to Small Brawl, the level design goes up tenfold. So, looking forward to that. And anyways, I just want to thank everybody for watching. Please like and subscribe if you want to see more Twisted Metal related videos or any type of classic gaming. And for now, I just want everyone to have a great day, and remember to tune in next time when I play with my Play-Doh.